In today's leading look, Laurel Mayor Dave Wagoner declared a state of emergency by executive order Friday after some parts of the city received up to 8 inches of snow and nearly 18 inches in the course of the week. The state of emergency was declared to free up resources to bring in additional contractors to clear roadways. Laurel's public works director says the city was able to bring in 3 private contractors in addition to their 6 large snowplows with the money. In all, it's expected the snow removal effort will cost the city $4,000. And in some money watch now, lonely and looking for a Valentine? Be careful, you might be the target of a scam. The United States Post Office is warning the public about romance scams ahead of Valentine's Day. Romance scams are a form of fraud that prey on individuals seeking companionship. These scams often start online but frequently escalate to requests for money or valuables sent through the mail. The post office says to never send money, checks, gift cards, or personal finance info to someone you haven't met in person, and to be suspicious of requests for secrecy or urgent finance help. If you think it's a scam, cut off communication immediately and report it. And in Billings, the Washington Innovation Center is marking a significant achievement, the graduation of its very first student. Opened in August of last year, the Innovation Center represents a transformation of the former Washington Elementary building, now reimagined as a hub for opportunity. And you've heard of Super Bowl Sunday, but how about Super Book Sunday? In Missoula, before the big game, people gathered at DraftWorks to pick up a book or 2 or a whole bag. This is the event's 3rd year where Fact and Fiction Books fundraises with unsold books from the previous year. This time, all the proceeds went towards Indigipalooza, Montana, a new festival celebrating indigenous arts and stories coming up in August. Today in your ag news, today is World Pulses Day. It's a day the United Nations has recognized since 2018. The Montana Ag Network's Marion Davidson shows us the role pulses play in Montana.
When you think about agriculture in Montana, what comes to mind? Beef? Wheat? Well, there's another crop that's taken root in the Treasure State: pulses. The Golden Triangle in north central Montana is wheat country.
The name Golden Triangle comes from all the wheat fields. I mean, the wheat fields were endless. You could see them for miles, and that's all there was.
Justin Miller's family has been farming wheat in Guildford since the early 1900s. But about 25 years ago, they tried something new.
We were looking for a crop that was different than wheat.
So they tried peas, then a few years later, planted chickpeas.
And we've been raising them ever since.
Pulse crops are plants in the legume family, so things like chickpeas, lentils, and dry edible peas. And according to a 2024 report from the U.S. and Montana Departments of Agriculture, Montana is the top producer of all 3 of those crops in the United States. Preliminary numbers put the production value of those 3 crops in Montana at more than $373 million. Pulse crops don't just bring money in. Miller says they also give back to the soil.
Now we have a crop that is actually putting nitrogen back into the soil. And not only does it feed the plant, or the pea plant or chickpea or lentil, it'll also feed the crop that comes behind it.
Numbers show an upward trend in acres of pulses planted and harvested in Montana since 2014.
You know, it is wheat country, but it's also pulse country now.
Pulses are rich in nutrients like fiber, protein, and iron. Check out the Montana Department of Agriculture Pulse Crop Program webpage and click on Pulse Consumer Information for ideas to put pulses on your plate. In East Helena, Marion Davidson, MTN News.
Frustrations are on the rise today over the rise in egg prices. According to the American Egg Board, the average price of a dozen eggs sits at $4.16. That's up nearly 40% from a year ago. And much of that is due to large-scale outbreaks of the bird flu, decimating flocks of egg-laying hens. But as our Isabel Spartz learns, that's not much solace to businesses and consumers.
For Billings brunch spot Sassy Biscuit, eggs are at the top of the ingredient list.
Every single menu item has an egg in it, whether it be our waffles, our biscuits, our pancakes.
They go through nearly 1,200 eggs a week, but prices on those have now skyrocketed, making it difficult for owner Jalon Hall, who just lowered prices to keep access affordable.
We have definitely been trying to pinch pennies and see where we can cut costs back. But margins right now, this has greatly impacted the margins that we are seeing.
What used to cost anywhere from 15 cents an egg has gone up to nearly 60 depending on the seller. The egg prices are the result of the avian influenza that is killing millions of egg-laying hens.
It's concerning because everybody's struggling with trying to pay for everything.
But Sassy Biscuit is just one of the many local businesses hurting from the high prices. Jennifer Keller runs Roll House Bakery, a cottage home bakery business, and always aims to buy her eggs locally.
That's always kind of been one of those staple ingredients that you always knew that you could just always afford. And now it's like a luxury to buy eggs. Like, it's crazy.
She hopes to keep her prices consistent, but knows the future isn't predictable.
I'm kind of absorbing the cost because I don't want to raise my prices right now because it's already kind of a splurge for customers to purchase my stuff.
Nobody's making more money, so eventually we're just going to price people out of being able to even come in.
In Grable, Wyoming, Bob's Diner owners Deanna and Robert Skillman face an extra challenge of traveling to buy eggs. However, with several large retailers running out, they've been forced to choose more expensive options.
We were able to get our eggs at 55 cents an egg this last week. Anywhere else I could find was above 68. So
when we started 4 years ago, we were paying 8 cents an egg.
To compensate, they've raised prices on egg dishes, something all owners are hoping to avoid.
I mean, food costs have been fluctuating for the last 2 years, so it's just been, this is just another thing we have to adjust to.
Based on what we're seeing so far, I'm just not sure what the rest of 2025 is going to look like. And it can be a little scary as a business owner for sure.
In Billings, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.